Warning: the content of the video that you are about to watch pertains to the harvest of fur-bearing wildlife through the practice of ethical, sound wildlife management of modern-day trapping. If this bothers you, if it triggers you in any way, shape, or form, please leave this channel now.
Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. Guys, what I got for you today is something that I think should be put out there and said. Uh, it's not really much as far as demonstration of anything goes. It's just some thoughts of mine about using baits and lures. And for you guys that have been trapping 1 to 3 years, I think this is really going to help y'all a bunch. And even maybe some of you guys that have been at it for a while, maybe it'll help you too. So what I want to talk about, and I get this question a lot: how much bait, how much lure do I use? Okay. So, and you hear this quite often too. Well, especially if you've got a set in, and especially a lot of y'all that are running cameras on your sets, you see coyotes especially that walk by your sets. They walk by your sets. They walk by your sets. All right, and the first thing they want to do is post that out there on social media, and they say, well, what am I doing wrong? What's happening here? And the first thing out of somebody's fingers as they're typing, well, you're using too much lure, or your lure's too hot, or something of that sort. Guys, I'm here to tell you that's absolute bunk. There is not a lick of truth to that. All right, not in my opinion. All right, let's take this for an example. Okay, you're trapping coyotes, you're in a pasture, and you're setting up coyote sets. You don't know it, but on the neighboring farm, a half mile away, there's a 1,200-pound dead cow laying over there. Been there for a week. She's bloated up. They've tore into her ass and ate it out, and they're starting on her nose too. She's rank, okay? And now all of a sudden, you think that a quarter or a half ounce of lure down a hole is entirely too much. It's too much odor. Come on now, let's stop and think a bit, okay? Um, the reason we don't use a lot of lure is because of an economical standpoint, okay? But there's such thing as using too little too, all right? Bait and lure, good quality bait and lure that are proven, is the cheapest thing you have between you and that animal, all right? If he can't smell your sets, if he can't find your sets, you cannot catch that animal. It's plain and simple, all right? So if you're out there using a couple of drops per set, guys, that ain't enough. It's not enough to pique his curiosity. It's not enough to get him over there. You should be using enough to get him stomping around and get him frothing and foaming at the mouth and getting with the program, okay? Now, I'm not telling you to go dump 4 ounces down the hole. That's not what I'm saying. It wouldn't hurt anything if you did. All I'm saying is that from an economical standpoint, it doesn't make sense. And the reason a lot of times too we use a little less lure of one kind and a little more of another is because of the ingredients that are in them and the reaction we get from the animal. It has nothing to do with, well, this one's too hot or this one's not enough. That has nothing to do with it. It's from the reaction we get from the animal as we put it out there, okay? And again, this is just my thoughts, my beliefs, my own personal opinion, okay? So what I tell everybody is to load up a Q-tip at least. Two is even better yet. All right. So I just happen to have a bottle of cat call here. Any lure will work. Doesn't matter. Two of these long stem Q-tips. Put it in there. Swoosh it around good. Whatever comes out on it, that's what I lure with right there. That's it. Beaver, when I'm luring beaver sets, I'm not a stick dipper like a lot of guys are. Um, I just reach in the jar with a couple of fingers, pull it out, slap it across the top of that mound. Because the one thing I don't like, and I don't ever tell anybody this, all right, a lot of the old lure bottles, a lot of the old lure makers told us to use a gob of lure the size of a lima bean. Okay, to me, a gob of lure is like a gob of cow manure. It dries out on the outside and all the goodie is in the middle. So get it smeared out there, okay? When you smear that out, now you get those molecules busted open. You get them out on the air currents to where they're actually doing you some good. All right. And I hope this makes sense to everybody what I'm saying. I'm not trying to muddy the water here. That's not at all what I'm doing. And I'm not telling you that you got to buy this stuff in pints. I'm not trying to force anything on anybody. I'm just giving you my opinion when it comes to using lures. When it comes to using bait, whether it's a chunk bait or a smear, a paste type bait or even a liquid, give a liberal amount, or as my good buddy Matt Jones would say, a goodly amount. There you go, Otter Cat, I used it. A goodly amount of bait down the hole, okay? Could be the chunk about the size of a walnut, could be a tablespoonful, a stick of butter knife in there or a cake knife in there, and get a good smear of it and smear it across the down in the hole or across the backing, whichever it might be. Same way with the gland lure. Maybe you want to go a little less on the gland lure, but not a whole lot less than that right there. Again, you've got to get their nose. If you don't get their nose, you don't have them, period. It's just that simple. They hunt with their nose, they trust their nose, and if you don't get it, if you don't catch that nose, you got to catch their nose before you can catch their foot, okay, if that makes sense. And like I said, guys, this is just some of my thoughts, some of my own personal experience and beliefs. Take it what you will. Guys, I'm going to end this video here. I appreciate y'all tuning in to watch, and if you would please just hit that thumbs up for me. That's all I'm asking. And once again, this is Dale Billingsley with another one. Signing out.